MTN News is following up on dozens of coronavirus cases reported here at the Cascade County Detention Center. I'm Keely Van Mittendorp, and I'll have more on how officials plan to keep the community safe from spread next.
Plus, with most counties turning to an all-male election, we're taking a closer look at your options as a voter.
And later, new developments in the search for a COVID vaccine right out of Bozeman. Details ahead.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Thanks for joining us. On Monday, Cascade County health officials joined the sheriff's office to announce 55 new cases of coronavirus that stemmed from a single case at the facility.
MTN's Keely Van Mittendorp has more on the conditions are like inside the jail as officials work to stop any spread.
On Monday, officials announced dozens of new cases at the Cascade County Detention Center. 53 inmates and 2 staff members tested positive for coronavirus. Sheriff Jesse Slaughter told MTN News Tuesday they're working hard to keep infected parties separated in the facility with testing capabilities in place. Now, Slaughter says he plans to keep all prisoners as healthy as possible. Asymptomatic individuals and those who appear to be healthy are still tested on a weekly basis. He says those tests have a turnaround time of around 48 hours.
Medical partners, City County Health and Alluvian, are working with our medical, and they're expediting those as fast as they can to speed up that process.
Cascade County Attorney Josh Rackey told MTN News he's seen one case already requesting a lowered bond amount and expects more cases in the coming days. Slaughter says he's worried about releasing violent offenders back into the community who could spread the virus.
And if they're in here, that tells me that they've reached a level of risk that our judges don't feel comfortable about releasing them, or they would have been released already under pretrial.
But the decision to lower those amounts lies in the hands of district judges. While inmate health and reduced bond concerns citing COVID worries are in the spotlight, it's also important to highlight the fact that Slaughter says most inmates in jail choose not to wear masks.
Do we spend a bunch of money, keep reissuing masks and trying to enforce this mask issue? How do you enforce it on somebody who's already in jail?
The 2 staff members who tested positive are quarantining at home. Slaughter said funding also becomes a factor in why jail staff can't be locked down with inmates should a larger outbreak occur.
We can't incarcerate our staff. That's essentially what we'd have to do. Or we'd have to pay them to be here, and quite honestly, the overtime on that would be astronomical.
Well, Slaughter says there's no room for certain things in the county budget. Commissioners were able to offer more support to staff after Monday's announcement. On Tuesday, Cascade County commissioners gave approval for the purchase of a new body scanner that will reduce physical contact here at the detention center. They also gave the go-ahead to build a morgue onto the jail as COVID cases continue to rise. Reporting in Great Falls, Keely Van Mittendorp, MTN News.
While visitors are restricted, staff has made sure there is still a safe area for inmates to meet with attorneys. Slaughter said the new body scanner will replace a model that the sheriff's office had been testing for several months at no cost to taxpayers.
With large numbers of inmates testing positive for COVID-19 at Cascade and Yellowstone County jails, we talked to Lewis and Clark County Sheriff about testing protocols at his detention center. He says their efforts are focusing on keeping the virus from coming in.
We go through a questionnaire, a long questionnaire, with anyone who is coming into our facility. We ask questions, where have you been? Have you been in contact with anybody who has it? And we take a temperature, and if there is any positive indications, we will take them for a test before we bring them in.
Detention center administrators estimate they've done about 55 tests on people who might have had exposure to COVID-19. In mid-June, they had about 85 tests done for inmates and staff without symptoms or known exposure. All have been negative. The detention center has stepped up its cleaning, and officers are using personal protective equipment.
State health officials have confirmed that a COVID-19 outbreak has occurred at a long-term care facility in Whitefish. The Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services reports that 21 positive cases and 1 COVID-19 related death were associated with an outbreak at Whitefish Care and Rehabilitation Center. DPHHS says efforts are underway at this time to prevent further spread of the virus. All residents and staff will continue testing each week until 14 days pass without a new positive case. Well, tonight an update on 6-month-old Lucas Warner from Columbia Falls. He is safe. The child was taken by his non-custodial father and babysitter this past Saturday. The Lincoln County Sheriff's Office received information that they were camping at Wee Lake near Trigo. Once found, Child Protective Services took custody of Lucas.
A Montana pilot has been killed fighting the White River fire in Oregon. The acting director of communications for the Northwest region of the Forest Service confirmed to MTN this afternoon that the pilot was the only one in the helicopter. The crash happened late Monday. Officials are waiting to confirm where the helicopter is registered to until all family is notified. The White River fire is in the Mount Hood National Forest. The helicopter was doing bucket water drops on the fire. Well, here showers and storms are moving through the area. Meteorologist Grant Garland joins us now with a first look at the forecast.
That's right, Hallie. Good evening, everyone. Right now we are looking at showers and thunderstorms making their way across the Treasure State. Let's go ahead and get a good grip of what's happening. Right now we are looking at showers making their way to, just north of Chester towards Guilford as well as Havre. Looking at some rain making its way towards you. Also Fort Benton, Geraldine, Stanford getting in on some action. Denton, heads up, you're next, as well as Winifred. And we are looking at showers and thunderstorms that have moved and are continuing to advance towards Helena as well as Townsend and Butte. Now, because of all the smoke out there, we're still seeing 6 miles visibility in Great Falls, 4 in Helena, and 8 in Lewistown. And that's created some problems, unhealthy for sensitive groups with the air quality. And earlier, we saw some places that were just plain out unhealthy. Temperatures 82 degrees in Great Falls, 79 in Helena, and 90 in Havre. As we look at our winds, 12 miles an hour here in Great Falls and 6 in Helena. Tonight, temperatures falling down for the mid-50s as well as 60s in some places, 40s. When will our rain chances, though, fade away? Stay tuned for that, but for now, back to you.
All right, thanks, Grant. Well, across Montana, county election officials have been deciding whether to conduct this year's general election with all mail ballots or not. As MTN's Mike Dennison reports, most of them are choosing mail ballots, but voters will still have options to drop off their ballot in person.
It's been 3 weeks since Governor Steve Bullock gave Montana counties the choice of going to all-mail ballots for the November 3rd general election. Election officials asked for that power because of concerns over finding enough polling places and election judges during the coronavirus pandemic. And as of Tuesday, 40 of Montana's 56 counties have chosen mail ballots. That includes 7 of the 8 most populous counties, which covers Billings, Missoula, Bozeman, Great Falls, Butte, Helena, and Hamilton. Flathead County in Kalispell is the only large county to stick with polling places for November 3rd. A dozen other counties have made that same choice, most of them less populous rural counties. 2 counties will make their decisions next week: Jefferson, which includes Boulder and Whitehall, and Fraser County in eastern Montana. In the counties going to all-mail, all registered voters will be getting their ballots the second week of October. And in the other counties, absentee ballots will be mailed out at the same time. Also, if your county sends you a ballot in the mail, that doesn't mean you have to mail it back. You can drop it off at the county election office, or in some counties, at ballot drop boxes. For example, in western Montana's Sanders County, officials will be placing drop boxes in towns across the county and at regular polling places on election day. And one last thing, regardless of what your county is doing on mail ballots, you can continue to register and vote right up to 8 p.m. on election day. Reporting from Helena, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
The deadline for counties to make a decision is Friday, September 4th.
Tomorrow is the day so many have been waiting and preparing for, back to school in Great Falls. But before you send your child to school, here are some things to remember. Governor Bullock's August 12th directive requires face coverings in all K-12 schools in counties with 4 or more active cases. The governor did say that districts may allow students to remove face coverings while seated in classrooms where social distancing of at least 6 feet is strictly observed. One common question has been, what happens if a student exhibits potential symptoms of COVID-19 while at school? Well, at Mountain View, symptomatic students may find themselves in personal pods while the newly full-time nurse monitors them and contacts a parent or guardian.
Before you guys arrive on Wednesday, first, we're really excited to have you. We've been working tirelessly to prepare for you. Teachers and staff have gone through a lot of COVID training and procedures. Please remember to send a face mask, send a water bottle with your child because our water fountains are currently closed. But show some grace for yourselves, grace for us. We're learning through this together, and we've prepared as much as we can.
As for those who've opted for remote learning, 250 from the district's middle schools, 500 from the high schools, and 800 in the elementary schools.
Well, COVID vaccine trials underway worldwide tonight. Progress made here in Montana. Details after the break.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Welcome back. New developments in the search for a vaccine for the coronavirus.
Researchers at Bozeman Health have discovered something, but now they need participants willing to test it out.
MTN's Annie Johnson joins us with more details.
With each day passing by that we're still in a pandemic, you have to wonder, when are we going to get a vaccine or something to help us in this fight against the coronavirus?
Yeah, I'm the primary investigator at the local site here in Bozeman, Montana. There's 120 sites with the Pfizer vaccine, and we are underneath the Pfizer vaccine, or working with Pfizer for the vaccine.
Bozeman Health is not just working on a vaccine alone. Now the public can help and get involved with finding a solution.
We're taking almost anyone between the ages of 18 and 85. They set up the study to include as many people as possible and to get enrollment as quickly as possible, because this is an urgent need for society.
You don't have to have the virus in order to participate. In fact, there's only one eliminating factor.
Anyone who's on immunosuppressive drugs like chemotherapy patients, cancer patients, we don't want to put them at risk of an immune response during the vaccine.
You might be asking yourself, what's the point? Well, Dr. Gentry's got an answer for you.
The point of the study is to create a vaccine so that we can actually take our masks off and talk to each other again and convey immunity for a virus that's kind of covering the earth right now.
The study involves 6 visits over 2 years.
And those include a blood draw, where you're going to be donating your blood, and they'll just check for antibodies for the virus, make sure you're immune. And also the second thing is, it's an app that you download on your phone, and basically it's a single question that's asked on a weekly basis. Have you had any symptoms? You click yes, it sends us an automatic alert, and then we call you.
To sign up or become a participant in this study, you can visit this story online for more information. Reporting at Bozeman Health, Annie Johnson, MTN News.
Anyone interested in participating can also see some of the risks involved online. Just head to our website.
The coronavirus pandemic is causing a surge in opioid overdose deaths. The American Medical Association says opioid overdoses are up in 40 states. The rise in overdose deaths comes as access to telemedicine becomes more widespread. The American Medical Association says overdoses appear to be hitting older victims, possibly because they do not understand the technology of telemedicine or they don't trust it.
Well, temperatures tonight, 55 degrees in Great Falls, 57 in Havre. Don't go away. Your 7-day forecast is coming up next.
Get break. Storm Tracker weather starts now with Grant Garland.
Good evening, everyone. I hope that you have had a pleasant Tuesday. Hopefully you're able to see some raindrops falling. Today we did see a high of around 87 degrees here in the Electric City, 84 in Helena, 85 in Lewistown, 76 in Glasgow, 80 in Jordan, and 88 in Havre. Now the average for this time of year is around 80 degrees. So yes, we were well above that, but at least we weren't like in the 90s like we have been seeing over the past several days. The record though was set back in 1926 when it was 100 degrees. That was also the year that now the late Andy Griffith was born. He would have been 94 today. That heart attack though, that got him. 82 right now in Great Falls as well as Lewistown, 90 degrees still in Havre, and around 79 degrees in Helena. Over the last couple of hours, we've seen our winds really whipping at 45 miles an hour in Great Falls, 43 in Helena, 28 in Cutbank, and around 21 out towards Jordan. So a lot of wind gusts today. It's been a very breezy day, and some of that is probably from these thunderstorms that have been rolling through the area. Going ahead though, taking a look, we're seeing these thunderstorms. They're making their way out towards Winifred as well as Lewistown. Right now in Stanford, lightning strikes making their way to you guys, as well as White Sulphur Springs looking at a few thunderstorms making their way out to you. Now tomorrow we're going to have another chance for severe weather, and just like today where we had an isolated chance for Helena, that's going to be really the same situation tomorrow, but only for those in Helena as well as Lewistown. It's going to be isolated severe chances. So any thunderstorms that do develop, our main concern will be the isolated dry thunderstorms. That will be the main problem. Going throughout tonight, we will still see the chance for a few showers and thunderstorms right around 9 p.m. Going through around still midnight, looking at some of us getting in on some rain. Tonight though, we start to see our activity die down. Then tomorrow, as we go throughout the day, we will see our chances for showers and thunderstorms really vamp up for those in Helena as well as Lewistown. Notice as we go throughout the mid-afternoon hours by 3:30, much of the activity stays south of Great Falls, even though we still could see maybe a clip or two of rain. It's going to mostly hit Helena as well as Lewistown. Going throughout the night on Wednesday into Thursday, activity dies down again, and then for Thursday we are expecting a mostly sunny to sunny day with much of the activity staying south of Helena. How much rain could we be getting though from now through around Wednesday tomorrow at 10:30? Well, if we do have those thunderstorms that our model is projecting go through Lewistown as well as Lewistown and Helena, we're going to be looking at those rain chances increasing our levels up to maybe ½ an inch possible for those in Helena and just over 3/10 of an inch for those in Lewistown. As far as we go throughout the day tomorrow, we will see 10 to 20 mile per hour winds, possibly 20 to 30 for our friends in Jordan. As far as the next week though, after that goes, because we are looking at temperatures dropping down to around 62 degrees next Sunday into Monday, well, we are looking at still staying below the average for this time of year in terms of our temperature, and for us to stay, we are looking at staying drier as well as we head into the next 2 weeks. You can always stay weather aware by following me at meteorologist Grant Garland on Facebook, as well as downloading that free KRTV app. It is free and ever present. 56 degrees tonight in Lewistown, 55 in Great Falls, 50 up in Cut Bank, 57 in Havre as well as Hayes. As we walk out the door tomorrow, temperature is 57 degrees with only an isolated chance for a shower or two in the afternoon, maybe a thunderstorm. 85 in Great Falls tomorrow, 83 in Helena, 82 in Lewistown, and 91 in Glasgow. And our chances for showers and thunderstorms really diminish pretty much for Great Falls after tonight. Thursday, though, sunny skies, 64 degrees on Sunday. Tim?
Coming up, a Great Falls icon is recovering in the hospital after a serious injury. Find out how you can help Piano Pat next.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 530 News.
Welcome back. A Montana icon is in need of some help after a fall at her home last week.
Tom Wiley has an update on Piano Pat's health and how her many fans at home and abroad are helping her get back on her feet.
Many people know Piano Pat, the performer. She's entertained crowds at the world-famous Sip and Dip Lounge for over 50 years.
It's been her passion. Music is her life, and I think that's what's kept her going.
But when she steps away from the iconic keyboards here at the Sip and Dip, she's Pat Spoonheim, an 85-year-old mother of 3, grandmother of 5, and expecting her 4th great-grandchild in October.
She helped us grandkids, you know, always kept us in school clothes and shoes, and she has always given to other people.
Pat has brought joy to thousands over the years, but now she's the one who could use a lift to her spirits. Earlier this month, she suffered a scary fall in her home, slipping, hitting her head, and breaking her hip.
Luckily, after tests came back, the head injury was not near as bad as they feared. So then they decided to go ahead with the hip surgery. She had to get about a 10-inch pin put in. Fortunately, she came through with flying colors. They said the surgery went very well.
Pat is currently rehabbing at Benefice West, where her spirits are high, but she has a long road to recovery. So at the request of her extended family, Anderson created a GoFundMe account to help offset some of the medical costs.
I thought this would be a good way for us to be able to give back to her. Her savings is going to be quickly depleted with medical bills, and so I knew that finances would be tough. And
so far the response has been massive, an outpouring fitting for the larger-than-life local legend.
When I went to visit her, I said, you know, I want you to know that there are so many people that are thinking of you and praying for you, and they are wishing you well.
Pat's family isn't sure when and if she'll ever return to performing, but she's always blazed her own path, so never say never.
She's still got a lot of determination and ready to get back on her feet, so we're all praying for her and hoping that eventually get back home, which is what she wants.
Tom Wiley, MTN News.
And to help Piano Pat, you can find a link to her GoFundMe page on our website. And don't go away, we'll be right back.
Well, temperatures tonight falling down to around 56 degrees in Lewistown and around 50 in Cut Bank, 55 in Great Falls. Tomorrow warming up to around 85 in Great Falls, 83 in Helena, and 87 in Havre. Heads up, we could look at a few isolated severe thunderstorms mainly in Helena and Lewistown tomorrow with damaging wind gusts as well as hail being the main issues. Lightning. We are looking at 84 degrees on Thursday, 82 on Friday.
Get this, the Colonel is changing his slogan, at least for now. Kentucky Fried Chicken announced it's not right to continue with its finger-licking good slogan during the coronavirus pandemic. It's been the slogan for the 60 years.
The company didn't get rid of it entirely. The catchy phrase has been blurred out on billboards and still exists in some packaging. The company says it plans to bring it back when the time is right.
So good.
Who knows?
Yeah, I don't,
I don't think it'll hurt sales that much.
I don't think
so.
either.
They're fine.
We'll see you back here tonight at 10.